Hi guys, it's Kit here from the Kit Does Yoga YouTube channel. So as you may have noticed, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're outside, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and I got a nice cold beer next to me. Now this class is called BYOB Yoga, so feel free to grab your favorite beverage, whether that's beer, wine, coffee, tea, even water, because we'll be using it throughout this class. I got here with me Spyglass from Urban Artifact. It's a lemon lime tart. So I'm going to go ahead and crack it open. So if you haven't already, go ahead and pause the video and grab one of your favorite beverages and get ready for BYOB Yoga. Cheers! So let's go ahead and get started here in a seated position, just finding a comfortable seat on your mat. You can cross your legs or let them go long or anything in between. Just get comfortable. Find a place where you can sit up tall, roll your shoulders back, and then go ahead, crack your beverage if you haven't already, and just place it next to you for whenever we need it. But we're actually going to start here by closing our eyes and breathing. So noticing your breath in and out. Bringing your hands to rest comfortably on your knees or in your lap. And just taking notice of the senses around you. What do you hear? Can you hear the birds? Can you hear something else going on in your house? What do you smell? What are you smelling? Even if there's nothing, noticeable, just notice what you're smelling. Even though your eyes are closed, what do you see? And then start to notice the touch sensation. So what are your fingertips resting on? What are they feeling? Noticing the clothes on your body or anything that's touching the mat or the ground right now. Just taking notice of that. And then I want you to go ahead, glance down at your beverage and go ahead and take a sip. Maybe keep your eyes closed if that's comfortable. But really taste it, really taste what's going on. Pick up on the different flavors. Maybe smell it as well. What do you smell? Is that different than the taste? Just taking a moment to really be mindful about what we're drinking, really noticing and enjoying, taking a moment to enjoy it, enjoy the food and the drink that goes into our body. A lot of times it's just really quick meals, really we're grabbing something, we're drinking just to satisfy a thirst or a need, or we're out socially. But just take a moment and really enjoy what you're currently sipping on. On your next inhale, go ahead and reach up tall, look up, and exhale, bend over to your right. So I'm taking my right hand down to the mat, and my left hand's reaching up and over as I start to bend down towards my right hand. Stretching out through my left side body here, down from my left hip, all the way up and out through my left fingertips. On your next inhale, come back through center, reach up, and bend over to your left side. So now I'm reaching up and out with my right hand, rooting down through my right hip, and that line of energy continues all the way out through my right fingertips. On your next inhale, come up through center again, reach up, and this time I'm actually going to twist to my right. So I'm going to take my chest over to the right, my right hand comes behind me, my left hand maybe comes to my knee and helps me twist a little bit more. But most of this twist is coming from my center, from my chest, from my back. On your inhales, think about getting tall, and your exhales maybe twist a little deeper. Maybe even look to your right or behind you. Stay for one more breath in. Exhale as deep as you want to go. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and untwist, reach up, and twist over to your left. Breathing here. Same thing. Inhale tall. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Remembering this, just to focus that twist in on our spine. Not necessarily twisting the low back. Getting a nice stretch. Take an inhale. Exhale a little deeper. Take a breath in. Exhale, maybe twist just a little more. And then inhale, untwist, back to center, reach up tall. And this time we're actually going to come forward, so you can roll over your hands and knees, or if you want, like me, kind of come to the side. We're going to find tabletop pose here. So coming into tabletop, bringing your little adjustments, bringing your wrists under your shoulders, your hips over your knees, finding a nice flat spine here. So just like a tabletop, my back is nice and flat. I'm actually pulling my belly button in here to create that nice flat spine. And then I'll be looking at the camera, but you can go ahead and gaze down or gaze forward and back as we start to do some cat cows. So on your next inhale, drop your belly, look forward, cow. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale back into cow. And exhale, cat pose again. Do 2 more rounds using your own breath. So your inhales, your exhales. Following your breath at your pace, using the entire inhale to get into the pose or the entire exhale. And then when you're done, we'll meet back at center, back at this tabletop. Go ahead and grab your beverage, bring it near your hands. And then stick your right foot out towards the back of the mat. Go ahead and plug your toes in. Press back through your heel, getting a nice calf stretch here. So stretching out through the back of the legs, especially in the calf and the heel. Maybe even rock back slightly as you press back through your heel. And then you have the option to stay here. Or if you want, grab your beverage. This is going to be a challenge, especially if you have a cup. And so grab it in your left hand, forgot to mention that. But send your left hand forward. We're going to hold the beer for a challenge, or hold your beverage. And then if you want even more of a challenge, start to lift your right foot up, bringing it in line with your hip. So spinal balance here. Again, the neck is long. Peek down at your right thumb. As you reach forward, like you're handing your beverage off to someone, and you press back through your right foot. Hold for 3 breaths here. In and out. Take an inhale and exhale. One more inhale, really reach forward and back. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. Go ahead and set your beverage down. Take 3 cat cows here. At your pace, we use the core a little bit there, so we're just going to stretch it out. And then again, when you're done with those 3 rounds, go ahead and come back to tabletop. And we're going to do the other side. So this time, go ahead and plug your left toes back into the mat, stretching out, really flexing your foot here, or letting the mat flex your foot as your toes are down, your heel stretches out, pressing back through your heel, getting that nice stretch on the left leg, the left calf. And then same thing here. You can always stay here. That might feel good. Lengthen from your heel to the top of your head. Or grab your beverage in your right hand this time and reach it forward like you're giving it to a friend. And then again, our third option here is to lift your left leg up. So I have an opposite foot and an opposite hand on the ground. So my left hand's on the ground and my right knee, my right leg is on the ground. So just getting that nice corner balance here instead of same side might be a little bit harder, but I don't know, try it if you want. So reaching here, really stretching, like if one person was grabbing my hand, one person was grabbing my foot, Getting long, getting lengthened. And then we'll hold for 3 breaths on this side. Breathe in, breathe out. Big breath in, and breathe it out. One more inhale, one last stretch, and then exhale. Come back to tabletop. Sit back on your heels and take a sip if you want. Nice job there. Work the core a little bit. And balance too. We worked our balance muscles. And then from here we're going to find a down dog. So coming back into tabletop, I'm going to tuck my toes and send my hips back for downward facing dog. Our first down dog here, so maybe you pedal your heels out here, pressing one heel towards the mat, bending the opposite knee, and then reversing. Take a few breaths here. Go ahead and warm up your down dog any way you want. Breathing here. Take one more breath. And then exhale, tiptoe your feet up to your hands for a forward fold. Go ahead and take your feet wide here. I'm gonna go ahead and face front again. And let your upper body hang loose. Let your chest drop, let your head drop for Ragdoll Pose. So options here to stay here, just let your head fall. Or maybe if your fingertips are touching the ground like mine, maybe you grab opposite elbows. Or if it feels good, you can also sway side to side. Swaying with your hands down too is another option. But either way, finding your ragdoll, try and let your head hang loose. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, drop your hands, walk your feet back into hips width distance, and on your next inhale, slowly rise up to standing. Reach up tall, high mountain pose. Exhale, hands at your heart. Take a breath here in and out. So go ahead from here, grab your beverage again. We're going to do a little bit more balancing on our feet this time. Now the challenge here is if your beer is more full, it's going to be a little bit harder to hold. But if you have an alcoholic beverage, you could get rid of some of that weight by drinking it, but that may make you a little bit more unstable. So go ahead, pick your poison. If you have a non-alcoholic beverage, pretty easy to just drink it. So from here we're going to do tree pose. So root your weight into your right leg and then kickstand your left foot. So I'm coming onto my left toes, rooting down. Most of my weight's in my right foot at this point. And maybe I stay here, or maybe I bring the sole of my left foot into my right leg, anywhere it's comfortable. And then you can take your arms wherever they want. Maybe reach out, maybe bring your beverage to heart center. If you really want to challenge, maybe try taking a sip. That was harder than I thought, actually. That's why it's a challenge. But still breathing here, even as you're trying to balance, as you're trying not to spill your beverage. Go ahead and take a breath in here and let it out. Take one more inhale and then exhale. Bring your left foot down to the mat, shake it out. Give yourself a sip for a good job. And then when you're ready, start to root your weight down into your left foot for the other side. So this time I'm going to kickstand my right. And again, same option. Most of my weight's in my left leg. I can stay here, maybe play with it a little bit, bring up my toes, or bring the sole of my right foot into my left foot. And if you did the other side, if you were mirroring the video, just go ahead and use your other foot this time. No judgment. And same thing, go ahead and find somewhere for your hands to go out, in, maybe even up. Or let's try this again on this side. Go ahead and take a sip. It was better the second time. And together, let's breathe in and out. One more inhale. Stay, 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 and then drop your right foot, exhale, shake it out, nice job. Sorry for the noise, I think someone's mowing their lawn in the neighborhood. And then once you're all loosened up, we're gonna go ahead and meet at the top of your mat. So the top of your mat's one of the short edges. Again, if you want, keep holding your drink, a little bit extra challenge. Bring your feet about hips width apart, just like mountain pose. Maybe bring your hands to center here. And feel nice and grounded. And then from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up into warrior two. So I'm gonna take my left foot to the back of the mat, and then my toes are actually gonna point to the side. So they're pointing towards the long end of my mat. My front toes are still facing forward towards the front of my mat, towards the short edge of my mat. And then my right knee is bent, my front knee is bent. My left leg is a little bit straighter. There's a micro bend in my knee, but ultimately I'm pushing out through my back foot, through that pinky toe side. And then with my arms, I'm gonna continue this forward and back motion and reach towards the front and back of my mat. So I'm actually gonna keep my beverage in my front hand, my right hand. So again, right foot forward, left foot back. And then I'm actually gonna look towards my beverage. You're delicious. Breathing here. So feeling really strong through my feet. Take a breath in and let it go. Inhale, shrug your shoulders. Exhale, relax them down. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then inhale, we're going to reverse your warrior. So take your left hand, slide it down your leg as you reach back, you lean back. And maybe you reach your beverage up, or go ahead and take a sip as you tip your head back. And then as we come forward, I'm going to lean with my right hand. So my right arm is going to come to my right quad. So my right forearm's on my right quad. My left arm reaches up, or maybe reaches forward. Another option is to reach your hand behind your low back, so tucking it in my theoretical back pocket here. But either way, I'm opening up the chest. I really like this, reaching forward. So just like we did at the beginning of class, reaching your hand forward as you press your foot back into the mat. Take a breath in and let it go. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then lift yourself back up to warrior two. From here, I'm actually going to straighten my right knee, so both knees are straight. Spin all my toes towards the long side of my mat and take a wide leg forward fold. So from here, see if you can let your head hang loose. Or option here to clasp your hands behind your back and create a bind. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together as my head drops down again, loosening the neck, letting the head hang loose. Take another breath in. Exhale, release your hands if they're bound, or walk them back underneath your face. Inhale, find a halfway lift. So lift your chest up here, lifting up about halfway from where you were. Stay for the exhale. And then slightly bend your knees even more, and then slowly rise up to standing. So coming back to this wide leg mountain like we were doing before. Grab your beverage in your left hand this time for the sequence on the other side. So from here, I'm actually going to spin my left toes forward, or towards the back of my mat now. So my left toes are going to spin towards just the short edge of my mat. My right foot's actually already in place, so it's already parallel to the short edge of my mat, pointing towards the long end of my mat. And I'm going to bend my left knee. If you guys saw, I just did it automatically. We're finding warrior two here. So left knee is bent, left toes face towards the short edge of my mat. And then same thing, my arms are going to go out long. I switch my beverage to my left hand, and I'm going to gaze towards it here. Noticing it's feeling a little bit different. I had an extra weight in my right hand last time, now it's in my left hand, just balancing it out. Maybe notice a difference here. If you're right-handed or left-handed, one might feel easier or harder. Totally normal. Breathe here. Again, take a breath in and let it go. Inhale, shrug your shoulders, relax them down. Stay for one more breath in. Exhale it out. And then we're going to reverse our warrior on this side. My right hand sliding down my right leg as my left arm lifts up into the sky or right into my mouth. And then we'll come forward for side angle here. So again, leading with my left arm, bringing my left forearm onto my left quad. My right arm reaches up, forward, or behind my low back. Take a breath in here, let it go. One more inhale, stay for the exhale, and then come back up to warrior two. So coming back up, sending my arms forward and back for one last time. One last breath in and out. And then I'm going to straighten my left knee again, but this time I'm actually going to point all my toes out. So before we made them parallel, but this time I'm going to point my toes out. If this is uncomfortable, feel free to keep them closer to like a 45-degree angle or walk your feet in a tiny bit. So I'm going to walk my heels out, and then I'm going to bend my knees so my knees are going to the sides as well for Goddess Pose. Or sometimes called horse pose. And then to finish this up, we're going to take some cactus arms here. So bending your elbows at a right angle, breathing here. Then if you want to bring some movement here, I'm actually going to lift one heel at a time. So lifting my right heel and placing it back down. Maybe you sync it up with your breath. Inhale, lift your left heel and place it back down. We'll do one more round on each side. Inhale your right heel up. Exhale, place it down. Inhale, left heel up. Exhale it down. And then inhale, star pose. Reach up and out, straighten your knees. And then exhale, heel toe your feet in, back to mountain pose. Whew. Nice job, take a sip. And then from here, we're actually gonna meet on our backs. So just a few more poses to wind down. So coming onto your back, we're gonna go ahead and take pigeon on our back. So go ahead, bring your right ankle to your left knee for a figure four. And then if you want, stay here or press your right knee forward or clasp behind your left quad. All options here. Try and let your shoulders relax onto the mat as you stretch through your outer right hip. Stay here for one more breath. And then go ahead and release your feet. Bring both feet onto the mat and then just windshield wiper them back and forth. So I'm rocking my knees side to side. Watch your beverage. Just cleared it. Loosening up the low back a little bit. And then bring them back through center and take your left ankle to your right leg. Again, same options here. Hang out here. Push your left knee forward, grab your right quad, or even let's get our beverage into this. You can even take your beverage and press your left knee forward. So getting a little bit extra reach. Our hands and arms growing a little bit longer. This might feel good. To get a little extra stretch here, I like to actually flex my left foot. So whatever foot is up, I like to flex it, getting a little bit more stretch through the hip. And then when you're ready, go ahead and unwind from this side, and same thing. Place both feet on the mat and just rock them side to side. And then when you come back to center, go ahead and take your hands, place them underneath your low back, and then send your feet up into the air for legs up the wall. So finding where your toes can just end up in the air. Maybe you flex your feet back like it's a serving tray, and if someone were to just put your beverage up on that tray, it would hang out there. I won't ask you to do it, but just imagine it. Maybe bring a slight bend into your knees, that might feel good as well. But ultimately, we're just letting all that blood, all that oxygen flow back into your core more easily. This is our final pose, so if there's anything else your body's craving, any other stretch you want, you can go ahead and do that. Or if you want to take a few more sips, you're welcome to do that as well. Otherwise, just hang out here with us in legs up the wall. And then when you're ready, start to bend your knees. Go ahead, release your hands from underneath your back, and then grab your knees and pull yourself in for a nice big hug. Really tuck in tight, really squeeze in, nice I love you hug, and then release yourself back down to the mat. And find Shavasana, final resting pose, just your most comfortable pose, lying down here on the mat or sitting up for meditation. Maybe take one last sip if you got a little bit left. And really taste it just like we did at the beginning of class. Taking a moment to enjoy and appreciate all the hard work that went into making it, whether it was you or someone else. I wanted to take a moment and thank all of you for joining me for this outdoor BYOB yoga class. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And please stay tuned for our next BYOB yoga class. Namaste. Again, thank you all so much for coming. Please make sure to subscribe and let me know what you were drinking in the comments. I'd love to see what you were enjoying during this class. If you like this as well, please let me know, and hopefully we'll have some more BYOB yoga up on the channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers. I actually really like this. It tastes like a really good Sprite, but not as sweet and sugary.